Today I fucked up telling my parents about my inheritance. Too long did not read. Sister died and left me her home. Parents tried to sell it so I had to explain the will. Now they're gonna sue me. My 36F sister died 6 months ago from a heart condition. She practically raised me, so it's been pretty difficult to deal with. I'm in my final year of university and have failed every single class this semester. She'd be disappointed, but it is what it is. My sister never married, never had children. I lived with her near campus. She ran her successful side business. I got to help her occasionally as a paid intern. She worked a lot but not to support us. She wanted to retire by the time she was 40. She would have been done in 4 years and her heart had to fail her first. When she died, her attorney read her will to me. She had left everything to me. She had an extremely large amount of money put away for her retirement and side accounts for various activities for her retirement. I was unaware, but she had made several real estate investments so she could continue living a comfy lifestyle once she retired. She left her 2006 Subaru to me and willed our current house to me as well. She had explained she wanted to use this house for college housing eventually. This was all extremely overwhelming to hear. She left nothing to my parents, but as they didn't know she had assets, they willingly paid for the funeral and any other associated costs. My sister was no contact with our parents and I'm very low contact. We are their only 2 children. At the funeral my parents asked me how I was going to continue going to college without her money. Lol, they thought she paid for them. Psych, I have student debt. I told them I'd continue to take out loans. They asked about my living arrangements and I shrugged. At the time I didn't know all the details anyway. Well, 2 weeks ago, I found out my parents tried to sell my sister's house whilst I still lived there. They brought a realtor and toured our home and everything. It was all on the cameras set up in the home. When I called them and informed them I'd be calling the police, they explained the situation. I told them it's my home and it was willed to me. They couldn't sell it. They were confused heavily. I told them to meet at my attorney's and set a time. Cue today. My attorney explained the will to my parents. My mother went white as a sheet and my father was grumbling about suing me for his rightful money plus the cost of the funeral. My mother began ugly sobbing, telling the attorney he was wrong. Her daughter would not leave the house to someone like me. The attorney cut the meeting short and now we're preparing for the inevitable lawsuit coming my way. I just want to sleep and avoid all of this. Just some added info. Mom is a stay-at-home mom, but like the kind who spends her life at the country club, not the involved kind. Dad is a businessman and is typically on business trips for weeks at a time. They live, as they call it, lower upper class. Fixed spelling mistakes. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up, to be honest. Thank you everyone for the support. I've gotten to read almost all the comments and I feel a lot less anxious now. I did talk to my professors and 4/6 of them gave me extensions, but the other 2 are being jerks about it. It's fine though. I did sign up for my school's grief group. I just got done changing all my locks too. Thanks to everyone who helped me with home stuff too. I'll be sure to watch the home insurance bill or get a financial advisor or something. My sister's degrees and mine are in the same field, so I'll be continuing her business too, and I'll need a real estate attorney to redo the leases on her other rentals, I guess. I don't know, it's overwhelming. Edit 2. Since this keeps coming up, I stupidly gave them a key a few months after she passed. I didn't know they'd even be trying this until after the fact. The will doesn't say anything about them, but I'm leaving it up to the attorney to figure everything out. I will be paying them regardless for the cost of funeral, celebration of life, etc. Final update for now. Father sent me a text apologizing, said he wanted to sell the house because of the market right now but won't push me. We'll give more details at some point. Gonna see how this plays out first and I'll give an official update at some point. Imagine losing your child, and being mad about not getting money from it. When my mother-in-law died from cancer, her parents were mad that she left everything to her kids and nothing to them. Firstly, I am so sorry for your loss. Secondly, this is a little off topic, but as a university professor, there should be resources at your school designed for exactly this type of situation. Reach out to your professors and/or your dean and explain that you've had a close family member pass away and you need help. If you are paying for school yourself, I'd hate for you to have to pay for a whole extra semester. Reach out and ask your school for resources. There are people whose entire job is helping students in situations like yours. I hope you have now changed the lock. Not only do your parents not have a leg to stand on legally, you already have a lawyer to tell you that. They also sound kind of dumb. If they tried to sell the house, a title search would reveal they don't have title to it, which would stop the sale cold. Presumably, haven't your parents bought a house in the past? You mentioned they're in the country club set, so I would assume they're homeowners. Don't they know this? They can contest the will, but will contests are rarely successful if the will has been validly executed. You'll probably need to engage a trial attorney if they actually file a complaint. They may not. Unfortunately, there's no way out of this but to go through it. Good luck. It sounds like they fucked up since you parents don't seem to understand the estate and will process. If it was theirs, they would have been contacted. The estate should have paid for the funeral and not them though. Today I fucked up after deciding I want to live. Throwaway because my future depends on nobody knowing this story. Also trigger warning, pun intended, for Big Sad. Let me preface the fuck up by explaining that I don't want to forever sleep anymore. Don't worry about me. So the other day I found out that my house actually isn't in my name. My widowed mother can't pay her share of the rent, and my job gave me a $2 pay cut and relocated me an hour away. I might have to move west to some flyover state because I have no marketable skills. The Virginia job market can suck my dick. Things are rough and I felt tired of fighting the world. Everything gets more and more difficult and I was tired of it all. So I decided to start my 12 gauge. Obviously I had a change of heart and decided not to redecorate my wall. So here's the big fuck up. When I pulled the barrel out of my mouth I hit my tooth on the sight bead. I hit it so hard I chipped my tooth. It hurt so bad. It hurt physically but also it hurt me mentally. I feel uncomfortable knowing that my tooth is fucked up forever now, not to mention how I feel about deep-throating a shotgun. It still hurts. Fast forward to today and I'm doing much better. Still ill, never get that bit of tooth back. I am looking for a new dentist. I'm also looking for some kind of anonymous therapy. I'm open to suggestions. Too long did not read. I got sad and put a gun in my mouth but ended up chipping a tooth. Glad you're still here and you need to get that tooth checked out. An abscess could develop and they can be nasty, better to be safe than sorry. Source: women who chipped her tooth and developed an abscess. Friend. I'm glad to be reading about your chipped tooth, it just means you've made the right decision. Please take care of yourself. All the best to you. Your chipped tooth is a badge of honor. I chipped a tooth trying to remove a staple from a piece of paper. I got it fixed pretty quickly and painlessly. But I feel really stupid for doing it to myself. Rather lose a tooth than a life, my dude. You can use it as a reminder of your lowest point and how you chose to keep going. Only way is up from then on. BetterHelp is good for therapy. Maybe put the pew-pew out of easy reach just until you feel a little bit more like you're in a more peaceful place. Also, I promise you, whoever is around you, will miss you. Stick around and fight like hell. Victory hand, light skin tone. A close friend of mine pulled that trigger and lived. He's now in a home for the disabled and a ward of the state since he lost both eyes and parts of his brain. Death is by far not the worst thing that can happen to you. Hang in there, life will improve. TIFU by ignoring the red flags. Before you read this, just know that I'm currently on drink number 1, will be on drink number 15 shortly. My fuck up actually started Tuesday, so obligatory this isn't today, just has continued till today. So Tuesday evening I went and saw my girlfriend, like I do most night. Well, I get there and notice the toilet seat up, I make a joke not thinking shit about it. GF, let's call her Vicky. Well, she explains her ex came over to pick some stuff up he had left at her apartment. I'm a trusting guy. I have no reason to think bad about that. Mistake. We have a good evening, but when it comes time for bed she's acting sketch. I just think maybe I fucked up or said something wrong and I just let it go and go to sleep. Next morning I wake up and go to work and let everything kinda fade to the back of my mind. All day I don't hear from her, also it's pretty normal for this to occur, so no big deal. A red flag wouldn't have even been raised until I randomly get a notification on my phone. Vicky has shared her location. Well, my dumb ass wants to know why, but at the time I still think nothing of it and ignore it. Think to myself, maybe she wanted me to know she was gonna make it to work on time because she had been late the last time she went to work. Mistake number 2. Flash forward till this morning. Still had not heard from her by the time I woke up, and me being the nice guy, the first time I call her to ask her how her night went and say good morning. Also not a stripper, works at a plant, no answer. So I text just calling to say good morning, hope you had a good evening. Instantly it's read. This is when I finally start doubting. So I wait about 30 minutes and no reply, so I check location that she had shared the day before. She's not at home. She's at a random house. Now just some background, I'm really good at finding shit out. This isn't my first rodeo. So I trace the address on Google, use another site to verify who owns the house. Use Facebook to find out and verify the person. Turns out it's the house of the ex that she had mentioned the day before. So everything clicks, she shared her location on accident. She thought that we were shared already. So instead of turning it off, she turned it on. I haven't said anything cause honestly I don't even want to deal with it and listen to whatever lie she has prepared. This just sucks cause she was the first person I had trusted in a very long time. So currently on margarita number 2 and hoping that something positive comes of this. Sorry for formatting, spelling, grammar, and everything. I just wanted to talk to someone. Every time I try to talk to a human I break down. Thanks for reading. Too long did not read. I fucked up because I was too nice and trusting and didn't look at the original red flags. Now I'm getting drunk at a Mexican restaurant. Wrong sub my friend, you weren't the one who fucked up. Block her now so you don't drunk call her, dump her tomorrow, stay safe, get a ride home, and I'm raising a glass to you. I really dislike the "I trusted my partner as one would expect, and they betrayed my trust, so this is my mistake" attitude. The foo is hers. Usually Reddit goes over the top with saying end the relationship, but I think this may be an actual end the relationship so you don't have a worse moment later on kind of deal. I say ghost her. Don't message her about breaking up. Don't try to talk it over. Block her number. Ignore her if you see her in public. Pretend that she never existed. Move on with your life and revel in the fact that she will likely be in complete disbelief. Sure, she'll likely put the pieces together, but there will always be some sort of doubt in her mind as to whether she thinks she knows what happened or not. If she approaches you in public, say something like, "Have we met? I don't recognize you. Lastly, please Uber, Lyft, taxi home. I'll Venmo you fare if I have to. First of all, end the relationship, you deserve better. Second, I would have bought you a drink if I was there with you. It can only go up from here, my man. Gosh, I'm sorry she turned out to be an ass. I swear, we're women, not all like that. Please do not drink and drive. Be careful, and I wish the best for you. Today I fucked up by legally changing my name into a racial slur. My adoptive parents raised since I was maybe 3 years old. Since my bio mom named me, my surname is different from my parents'. I've always felt a little weird about not having the same last name, so I decided I would change it. In the midst of changing my last name, I fell in love with my, now, husband. I knew I would be taking his last name, so I made the decision to take my parents' last name as my middle name. My last name would be my husband's name. I told my husband my plan and he was fully on board. We had several conversations about my new name. This man said nothing. So our wedding comes and goes. My husband watches me complete the paperwork and mail everything off. I am one of those weird people who likes to personalize everything, and my husband knows this, so I made a bunch of purchases with my new initials. I was most excited about my sun hat, which had my new initials on it in bold block letters. Here's how the conversation went. Me. Honey, you like my new hat? Him. Is this a joke? Me. No. I bought it for our honeymoon. Why are you upset? Him. Your hat says, Yid. Me. Yes. Those are my initials. Him. Complete silence, then laughter. Between fits of laughter, my husband pulled me aside and explained that, Yid, is a derogatory term that is used to refer to Jews. I had unknowingly taken a picture of me in the hat to announce my name change and sent it to my parents. They were thrilled. And my mother-in-law. Who is Jewish. I'm black and outside of my husband's family, friends, I don't know any people who are Jewish. And his family practices. My husband thinks it's hilarious. And I probably would too if I hadn't spent all that money getting my initials put on things. And #X200B. TLDR. My Jewish husband let me change my name but didn't inform me of the consequences. Now my initials spell out the Jewish version of the N word and my initials are everywhere. Advice for new bands. When coming up with a band name, make sure its acronym displayed really large on your artwork or t-shirts won't be complicating matters. You're welcome. Jimmy Eat World. Source. My wife and I had finally decided on a name for our coming son, to go with the family name that we were giving him as a middle name, and we were happy with it for about a day. Then we realized his initials would be PMS. We resolved it by giving him a second middle name. He's got 4 initials instead of 3, but at least it doesn't spell anything. At work we use first initial last name for accounts. We've had some fantastic usernames over the years. You know it's great when their mere sending of an email triggers a profanity filter. Only one ever asked to change it, even though they all know we can do so. In the interest of avoiding potential dox issues, I'll avoid naming names, but you can probably guess a bunch of the common ones. As a Jew, I can say that is not the N-word for Jews. That word would sound like kite. Never even knew that was a slur. I wouldn't have thought anything of it. Can you ask your mill to help you pick a second middle name?